and helps support your jawbone, allowing you to eat anything you want. If dental implants are for you, choose Designer Smiles with confidence. There's no need to travel around getting different procedures done. Dr. Jeff can do the entire procedure right in the office. Call Designer Smiles today, 701-929-9242, or visit FargoDentalCare.com.
Hey guys, it's Matt Lehman and Mike Wolski from Fargo Roofing and Siding.
If you have been thinking about replacing your roof, now is the time.
Our project managers will help you select the best materials with the best warranties to create a roof you will love at a price that will fit your budget.
Fargo Roofing and Siding also offers financing so that you can have affordable monthly payments on any job. Our spring schedule is filling up fast, so call to schedule your free estimate today or visit us online at FargoRoofing.com.
Fargo Roofing and Siding.
And welcome to Weather and Ag in Focus. I want to thank everybody for joining us this afternoon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysocki, along with meteorologist extraordinaire Justin Storm and our wonderful, talented Ag Director Bridgette Readel. And guys, I'll tell you what, Justin is like a little schoolgirl today with today's guest that's coming up.
An air duct. Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, Juan? What's the procedure? Stay calm! Wait. Everybody calm down!
So calm down, Justin. I mean, it's okay. We've got a special guest today, Molly Yeh.
Freaking out, man.
I'm more excited than he is. Here I am with Grandma's
Look at your apron. I love that.
I've got cookbooks from the church. I got Molly's cookbook. I am ready to roll.
I can't wait. And Molly grew up outside of Chicago. Did you know that? She grew up in the north suburbs, so I've got a very important sports question to ask her. I hope she gives the right answer today.
There's no important sports question, Dean. I just want you to know that.
Yeah. But I'm really looking forward to having Molly on today. We had her husband on last month and learned a lot about the farm and up in Grand Forks, and it'd be interesting to pick Molly's brain too. I know, Justin, you're looking forward to it. You're a cook, although you've never cooked for us. This is what I don't understand. He proclaimed this
for people that are nice to me.
This is one of the reasons he was hired, and I'm not kidding. When I heard he was a chef, I'm like, well, we've got to hire a chef. I mean, along with a meteorology degree, come on. So
you never said he was your personal chef, Dean. That's a difference.
This is true, but I mean, I've never seen him bring any homemade dishes in for us to sample or anything like that. And I think
maybe not.
I go back to my original statement.
Touche. So yeah, we have Molly coming up today, and what else are we going over today, guys?
Oh, we got about 14 days worth of ag topics.
We do. And how's the weather out there? Cold and windy with temperatures. We're actually in the teens just to the west of the valley, and that's what's moving into the FM area. It'll be a little late arriving in the Lakes country, but again, we're going to see temperatures falling into the teens today. You factor in that wind, and we're going to have wind chills around 0 to a little bit below. Still a little blowing snow out there, especially in open country, so watch those east-west roads. And we're staying windy all the way through tomorrow. We'll have wind chills tomorrow below 0 all day long. I mean, man, it's just we just can't shake this colder than normal pattern. And even when we warm up next week, it doesn't look to be very long-lived, as another storm will drive our way and then drive in more cold air. So we just can't. I don't see the pattern breaking anytime soon. I wish I had better news.
Yeah, I'm not happy about that.
It's going to be another late start to spring.
I mean, it falls in line with the LRC with what we were expecting back in December. It would be a long winter, a late spring, and here we are mid-March, and our biggest sign of spring is like mid-30s next week, and it comes with snow and rain maybe.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We'll just enjoy the summer even that much more when it does arrive. But if you didn't catch our LRC special, this is not supposed to be a hot summer. In fact, areas west of the valley, central and western parts of the state, look to have a slightly below normal temperature regime for this upcoming summer. That might be good news for some. And pretty close to normal temperatures here in the valley and into Lakes Country, a little bit above normal actually into Lakes Country. So I don't know. Would you rather have a hot summer, Bridgette? Usually the hot comes with the dry, and that's not good for agriculture, that's for sure.
Okay, here's my question for you. You can say it's going to be a cooler summer, but are we going to have sunshine? Because I need some sunshine in order for plants to grow, right? We can work around temperatures, et cetera. I mean, no doubt that's helpful, but we're going to need sunshine. And there were some years where we had concerns about that just based off of wildfires to the west. But if you can get me sun, I appreciate it.
Well, I'll do that because, I like you, Bridgette, but don't count on Justin delivering. I mean, I don't know.
Such a rough crowd here.
It is such a rough crowd.
I got things to say, but I won't.
Oh,
I'll just bite my tongue.
All right. Not too hard. Not too hard, though.
All right. So, let's switch gears. Let's go back to ag topics here. We got so many that from yesterday we were going to try and get to, Bridgette, and I wanted to start off. We'll go back a couple of days here, and actually I think I got the wrong list in front of me. Nope, this is the right one. We want to talk about defining weed sciences.
Okay, got it. All right. So I'm so glad I have my notes in front of me because there are moments where I'm not really sure what we're going to talk about. So it's best that I always am ready at a moment's notice for you guys. Okay. So oftentimes I am trying to talk about getting rid of weeds in the field that we don't want there, because a weed is really just a plant that's out of place. Okay. So there are actually some beneficial weeds, right? Dandelion is, for some folks, they would say that that's a good one because you can use dandelion in salads, medicinal purposes. It actually is good for your liver and digestion. But weed science itself is the study of plants, and we can talk about where they are if they're out of place. And we've got people focusing on things like the ecology, the management, the life cycle of weeds, how to control them when they're in a crop production field versus also in other areas like even horticulturally, et cetera. So there's a lot of different things that weed science, it can fall underneath, but it's not always about just controlling a weed that's in the way. It's how can we use them to our better benefit too? Because if we have a lot of water hemp or pigweed that's out there, can we find ways to use them usefully so that if we've got them, we'll actually be able to do something with them instead of just having to have that constant warfare trying to get rid of weeds. So weed science.
And speaking of the weeds, how about some unique weed control methods? I know we've talked a lot about different ways to control them, whether it comes from electrocuting them, burning them, spraying your herbicides on them. What else you got for me, Bridgette?
You've also got folks that are starting to look at going a little bit old school. I had a call earlier this week about someone saying, I've got a small patch where I think that my water hemp is so out of control, I'm considering taking a plow and literally plowing up that portion, which would turn your soil, I'm sorry, I shouldn't call it dirt, over and literally burying those smaller seeds so they can't emerge and become a problem. That's a technique that we haven't done in a lot of years because we're concerned about erosion and so forth, but you may see some folks in areas where, again, it's out of control, they got to do something different. Now, why do we have some of the problems that we do? Let me run this little math equation by you because you're the math guy on this show, Justin. So here we go. All right. If you think about ducks and geese and their migration patterns, this was a study done out of Missouri. They had 47 species of ducks, 47 seeds, like weed seeds, were found in ducks, 11 species in geese. That tells you that when they land in a field, they treat it like a buffet. They're eating all the plants that are out there, both good and bad. And then with that consumption, when you take it times the migration pattern, that was an estimated 49 million ducks with an average of 18 pigweed seeds per duck. That's the potential of 882 million pigweed seeds being transported. And that could be Palmer amaranth going all the way from Mississippi through the Central Flyway to Canada. And theoretically, they could be depositing those weed seeds all along the way. So that's one of the reasons why weed science is important and why we have to look for creative ways to control weeds that are, again, plants out of place if you have ducks and geese as one of the major carriers.
Wow, that's a lot larger number than I was expecting to hear there.
Yep.
And it makes complete sense, too.
Yep. They like to eat water hemp, which has a seed head on it that has a huge prevalence of weed seeds. We're talking hundreds of thousands of seeds per plant. Palmer amaranth can have
Ooh.
well over 500,000 seeds per plant. So when they land in your field, they'll eat what's green and tender and lush. A lot of times geese really like cornfields because if you think about the way the corn looks on, they can reach right down that center of the corn plant, the whorl, and they can pull out those most tender, delicious leaves and pull them out and eat them, but then it kills the plant. So they're doing damage to our corn, but then also if they get tired of eating corn, they'll go over and eat water hemp or pigweed and carry those seeds and drag them around with them.
Ooh. Anything,
Wow.
anything to keep them out of the fields to prevent that, Bridgette?
Hunting season. But really, if you
Yeah.
think about it, you're seeing the size of some of those flocks when they land. They're huge. There's really no way. Sunflower production in the central part of the state, like around Devil's Lake, used to be a lot more acres. But because of all the water that came up when Devil's Lake started to rise in the early 1990s, you saw all of these ducks and geese who liked to shelter there because there were trees, there was cropland, there was plenty of water. And by doing that, blackbirds came in, and blackbirds literally disseminated the sunflower acres. Farmers would buy things like boomer cannons, and the cannons were timed to go off to try to scare the blackbirds. But after a few days, the blackbirds are like, oh, yeah, there's that cannon again. And then they went right back to eating everybody's sunflowers. They didn't care.
They get
Birds are
wow.
jerks.
They really are. Wow.
They're just not happy. So, yeah, those are just a couple of the things that happen in what we do here in the state, especially when it comes to our waterfowl.
Very interesting. Well, we're going to take a short minute here. We're going to get Molly Yeh connected with us here. And when we come back, we'll be joined by Molly Yeh from Girl Meets Farm and the Food Network. And if you'd like to join in on the conversation, feel free to do so. 701-293-9000. Stay tuned, because Weather and Ag in Focus will be right back.
Wimmer's Diamonds is inviting you to our big band event. Not that kind of band. It's our wedding band event, and it's happening March 14th, 15th, and 16th, with hundreds of ring styles to view and try. Enjoy stack savings with 10, 20, 30% off. Swing into Wimmer's March 14th, 15th, or 16th, 4582 32nd Avenue South in Fargo.
Luther Family Buick GMC has the inventory you've been waiting for. Don't just settle for what's left over. Take your pick of our huge selection. The shelves are stocked and the lot is full with rates as low as 2.9% on a new GMC Sierra 1500 or 3.9% financing on select Buick models for qualified buyers. Bring your title and your trade and come in today while the selection is strong. Luther Family Buick GMC, corner of I-29 and 32nd Avenue South, Fargo. We are professional grade.
Are you suffering from neuropathy? Do you experience stabbing pain, numbness, tingling, or burning in your feet? Are you tired of sleepless nights and avoiding life due to pain? If you've been diagnosed with neuropathy or are experiencing pain or numbness in your feet, pick up the phone and call us right now before it's too late at 701-929-7545. Again, that's 701-929-7545. Neuropathy is a very serious and progressive disease where your nerves start to break down. Eventually, it leads to balance problems, falls, complete loss of independence, and it can lead to amputation. Our program addresses the underlying causes and doesn't simply mask your symptoms with medication. In fact, many patients start experiencing relief from neuropathy symptoms within weeks. There's no surgery and no use of prescription drugs. Pick up the phone right now and call 701-929-7545. Call us today at Dakota Clinic of Chiropractic at 701-929-7545 today.
Planning one's own funeral or that of a loved one can be overwhelming and costly, not to mention extremely emotional. Hi, I'm Craig, owner of West Funeral Home and Life Tribute Center. At West Funeral Home, our staff will educate and prepare you for this journey and work with you to create a meaningful and healing experience, serving the Valley for 4 generations and over 100 years.
West Funeral Home and Life Tribute Center. Little things make the difference.
It's Jay and Ronnie from the Coffee Club, and we have a brand new offer to tell you about on MyPillow.com with our promo code WDAY. Right now, you can get the lightweight and heavyweight robes for only $59.98 with promo code WDAY.
Fantastic pricing on robes, especially this time of year. If you want a warm shower, there's nothing worse than getting cold right out of the shower. These robes will towel you off. It'll be amazing.
Extra long staple cotton, removable waist tie, full-length sleeves, relaxed fit, front pockets, machine washable and dryable. Plus, you have that 60-day money-back guarantee. So again, use promo code WDAY on MyPillow.com to get this amazing new offer.
Or call us at 800-875-0644, also using promo code WDAY. Once again, that's 800-875-0644, or go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener square, and use promo code WDAY.
Attention farmers, when it comes to your grain storage and handling solutions, one call does it all. Gateway Building Systems is the #1 Brock Bin dealer in the U.S. Gateway offers factory direct products and in-house design services to ensure you get the very best for every project, no matter the size. Maximize your investment with a trusted brand. Choose Brock Solid Bins from Gateway Building Systems today. Visit us online at gatewaybuilding.com.
A little slice of the country, still close enough to the city. A quick 30-minute drive north of Fargo will have you living the life on a beautiful 10 acres. This property checks all the boxes. Rows of gorgeous mature trees. Check. 3 bedrooms, 2 bath. Check. Large metal outbuilding and hay barn. Check. Did someone say chickens? Check. Check. Schedule your showing today at nancykellyrealty.com or dial 701-306-0486. Welcome to WDAY Weather and Ag in Focus. Thrilled that you're joining us. My name is Bridgette Readel. I'm Ag Director, along with Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysocki and Meteorologist Extraordinaire Justin Storm. And I came all dressed for the occasion, brought Grandma's apron, got one of my cookbooks right out of my own kitchen, because our guest today is Molly Yeh. Molly and her husband Nick farm at East Grand Forks, Minnesota, but also, she does a few other things, like a network show on the Food Network and has a restaurant. So she's kind of busy. And she raises a few chickens. I also like the fact that she named them all the same names, so that makes it easy to keep track. But Molly, welcome to joining us today. We are so glad you're here. How are you?
I'm great. I'm loving that apron. That's incredible.
Thank you. Grandma would be so proud. Well, she came with it came with all the church lady cookbooks. So if you ever need any additional thoughts and recipes, I got them.
I might take you up on that. I love church cookbooks. They're the best.
All right. So you and Dean have a lot in common. You came from the Chicago area. How's that transition been for you? He's still working on his.
Well, Chicago definitely trained me for winters, so that wasn't that big of a shock. And to be honest, I always say I felt colder in Chicago, because in Chicago you're expected to walk places, and here there's just no question that you're gonna be driving, and you're gonna be leaving your car running in the parking lot of the grocery store, and it's gonna stay warm for you. In Chicago, it was like not cold enough to really do that. So in effect, it's counterintuitive, but we're more equipped for the winter here, so I feel warmer in Grand Forks.
Right. And Molly, from going, and we'll call the suburbs of Chicago city life because you're close enough to the city. What kind of transition was it difficult? I mean, I know you went. I believe you went to college out in New York.
Yeah.
Okay. So was it tough going from the city life basically to living on the farm, which you've never done before? I mean, what kind of a transition was that?
Frankly, full disclosure, I missed the pizza and the bagels, but other than that, I was ready for this way of life. I was ready for the pace. I have always loved the idea of a smaller town and a tight-knit community and a smaller community. And I do love the winter. I love working inside and looking at the snow outside. And I was ready for ready to focus on writing and doing the blog and cooking and not have a lot of the distractions of the city. And then once I figured out how to make homemade bagels and got a pizza oven, I was like, all right, I don't really need to go to the city for anything anymore. But no, really, I was ready for it. So I will say, like, I don't know that that would necessarily reflect like everybody moving here, but for me personally, I was ready for this transition. I had awesome support from, my in-laws and my husband and my family and everything. So that definitely helped to move here and not be totally alone. But no, I love it. It's we're coming up on 10 years that I've been here. So most of my adult life.
Oh, that's super cool. So what's the story behind how you and Nick met? And then how did that turn into your TV show, your series of Girl Meets Farm? What's that story and how did it all become what it is today?
So we met in college. We were both music students and we weren't really close friends in college. He was not a partier. He was a very quiet, he kept to himself, very hard worker. And I was in many ways the opposite of that. So we didn't actually start dating until after we graduated, and we were still living in the city and had a really good mutual friend that both of us were hanging out with for a while. So honestly, once we actually had the time to get to know each other, we realized that, oh yeah, we should definitely get married. We're definitely made for each other. And part of that connection was realizing that we are both such homebodies and we both really, we both have just like so many of the same values and so many of the same goals in our life and such. And so after living in New York for about a year after we started dating, we kind of realized like, gosh, I don't think New York City is the place where we want to be spending a lot of money on rent if we're just going to be staying in on a Friday night, watching Netflix and ordering Domino's pizza delivery. So we started to think about where we could move. And like, with my family being in the Midwest, his family being in the Midwest, we thought we should really seriously consider going closer to our families. And we, I think it was like April of 2013 that we took a trip outside of the city, hiking in New Jersey and seeing the lush greenery and being out in the fresh air and everything. We kind of looked at each other and we thought like, wow, we should have this all the time. I think we're done with the city. We're ready to be closer to our families, all of that. And he said, my family has this farm. And I thought, that sounds cool. That sounds lovely. I would love to visit. So I visited in that July, took one look around and thought, yeah, this place is great. Let's move here. And so about a month later, we packed up his mom's minivan with all of our belongings from New York and we drove here and really haven't looked back. And when I got here, I thought, okay, well, Nick will introduce me to all of his friends that he has surely kept in touch with since high school, and I'll have friends and I'll have a community and I'll have all of that, and it's going to be so great. Turns out he didn't have that many friends, so I had a lot of time to myself, and we also moved back like right before harvest. So when we moved here, he was basically like the so yeah, between that and then like the social life thing really not being what it was in New York, I had a lot of time on my hands. So I just was excited to do this. I just threw myself into my blog. I got a job at the town bakery as well, Dakota Harvest, and that was wonderful. It was overnight shift, and so I did that. I wrote my blog and just learned and learned by blogging for 7 days a week. I was just, I saw that farmer's work ethic, and I was inspired by it and how hard Nick worked on the farm. And so I worked just as many, if not more, hours on the blog. And then a few months after that, I was contacted by a literary agent who floated this idea of like, hey, would you ever think about writing a cookbook? And at first I was like, oh man, I just moved here. I really don't think that I know enough to write a cookbook. And so he said, oh, okay, you know, like let me like be in touch when you feel like you're ready. And so a little while later, I was just, the more I thought about that idea, I got more and more excited about it. So I embarked on that journey to write Molly on the Range. It took about a year to write it, and then another year to go through the editing and the photography and the printing process and all of that. And so that came out in 2016, I think. And then it was when what's up?
Well, I was just going to say, Molly, hold on to that thought. We hit the bottom of the hour. We're going to keep talking. I've got your cookbook right here, Molly on the Range. You'd be horrified to know how I put my tater tots on my tater tot hot dish versus yours. But we're going to talk about that when we come back. And also some of the things about, your biggest surprise now living on the farm. Can't wait to do it. But we're going to catch up with our sponsors and be right back after this.
Olivet Lutheran Church in Fargo invites you to join us for worship Sunday mornings at 8:30 and 10:30 and Wednesday evenings at 6. During this time of Lent, our theme is No Greater Love, where we will reflect on God's love for us through the death of Jesus on the cross. Our sanctuary is also open Wednesdays during lunch for individual reflection and prayer, where you can light a candle, leave a prayer at the cross, or simply be still. For more information and to watch all of our services online, go to olivet.org.
Sometimes it's all in the name. Designer Smiles. Designing a smile for you that you'll love for the rest of your life. Dr. Jeff is committed to the artistry and precision of cosmetic dentistry and routine care for you and your family's dental health. Call Designer Smiles today at 701-929-9242 and get comprehensive care. Designer Smiles. Utilizing the latest advanced dental technology, making dentistry affordable, treating each patient as family. Call Designer Smiles today.
Some big news. Former President Trump is urging you to get a copy of David Horowitz's new book. It's called The Final Battle, and Trump says it's great. Already a #1 Amazon bestseller, The Final Battle reveals a secret war led by leftists and the woke who want to destroy America as we know it. Horowitz says they're in our schools, our churches, even our military. In The Final Battle, he explains how Joe Biden and the big media want to stop Trump and DeSantis before 2024. Horowitz even names the names of the secret players behind it all. Newsmax calls Final Battle the book of the year. Mike Huckabee says he couldn't stop reading it. Get Final Battle in bookstores or check out the free offer and save $28. Just call 800-NEWSMAX. That's 800-NEWSMAX. Or go online to finalbattle611.com. Finalbattle611.com to get your free copy today.
At Fisher Investments, our clients know we have their backs.
How do your clients know that?
Because Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, the highest standard for a financial advisor. It means we're there for our clients and always put their interests first.
So wait, you do it because you have to?
No, we do it because it's the right thing to do. Our clients trust us with their retirement savings, and we know how important that responsibility is. So we take the time to really get to know them.
Get to know them how?
We make sure we understand their unique goals, finances, health, family, and lifestyle so we can tailor their portfolio to their specific needs. Our goal is to help them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Sounds like a big responsibility. You must make big commissions then, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We have one single transparent fee that's structured so we do better when our clients do better. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you are switching to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Of course I use Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to clean tough messes off my stovetop and bathtub. But then I discovered I can also use it to easily clean my patio furniture and even my shoes. I'm hooked.
And when wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser Sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are in. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Sheets make cleaning look easy.
We've got Brian in studio from Collins and Cronk Raymond James.
Brian, I was visiting with my girlfriend the other day, and she's just a few years from retirement. She was wondering if she can still retire if there's a recession just around the corner.
This is why planning is so important. When Collins and Cronk does a financial plan for you, we look at several different scenarios. We consider the positives or the good times, as well as the bad. What if there is a recession? We do the math so we can answer your questions with confidence. We want to help you make smart decisions like when to retire or what investments to use.
Whether it's a recession or an economic boom, Collins and Cronk can help you make the right decisions. If you have $500,000 or more, call Collins and Cronk in Fargo today. 701-235-0119, 701-235-0119. Securities are offered through Raymond James Financial Services, Inc., member FINRA SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Raymond James Financial Services Advisors, Inc. Collins & Cronk is not a registered broker-dealer and is independent of Raymond James Financial Services.
Pucklet Chevrolet Buick GMC in Valley City makes it easy to find your next Chevrolet Buick GMC or pre-owned vehicle by offering a great selection at our best prices possible.
And welcome back to Weather and Ag in Focus. Thanks for rejoining us. 1:36 on this afternoon. I'm meteorologist Justin Storm with Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysocki, Ag Director Bridgette Readel, and our very special guest today, Molly Yeh from Girl Meets Farm and the Food Network. And Molly, before we went to break there, you were kind of telling us about the story of how you met Nick. You were just getting into the part of how you had written your first cookbook after learning how to cook and all the hard work and many hours that you put into it. And I think you were just getting to the part on how Girl Meets Farm start to took off. But I was wondering, I just recently watched this movie with my wife, and I've cooked for about 10 years. She is a chef. She has her degree. And we were watching Julie and Julia. Have you seen that movie of Julia Child when she wrote her cookbook?
So good. Of course.
I was wondering, in your experience writing your first cookbook and maybe several after, is that story pretty accurate? Is that kind of how it went, all the hard work that goes into it?
Oh my gosh. I just remember days writing Molly on the Range, nights, I should say, staying up until 3 a.m., chugging the strongest cold brew I could get my hands on and like blasting music and just trying to meet my deadline and writing this thing. It is a lot. And like Molly on the Range, it was my first cookbook. And after I submitted it and after I wrote it, I thought, okay, now I have learned how to write a cookbook, and now I feel like I should begin to write this cookbook, because you're not only writing the thing, you're also learning how to write the thing. And so in cookbooks since then, I've written 2 cookbooks since then. They have been much smoother. They've brought a much more healthy balance of work and life. So Home is Where the Eggs Are was not as aggressive in my approach to writing it. I had a much better timeline. And yeah, after writing Molly on the Range, I had to just take a few years off of even thinking about writing another cookbook because I was so burnt out. But after that, I felt a lot more in control.
That's really great. So you just had your cookbook finished. Carry on with that story that you were telling us about how you met Nick. You got to the farm up in East Grand Forks, Minnesota. You wrote your first cookbook. What comes after that? When did Girl Meets Farm become an idea, and how did that continue on with the Food Network?
Yeah, so when I went to New York for the launch of Molly on the Range, and when I was there, my agent said, "Oh, some people at Food Network would like to meet with you." And I was really excited because the Food Network offices used to be over this magical wonderland called Chelsea Market, which is just a food lover's dream. And it's basically a mall completely devoted to food. And this new hummus place had just opened up there. And so I thought, awesome, we're going to go to the Food Network offices. But I'm really excited to eat hummus afterwards. So, so we went to the offices, and I met with a couple of the executives there, and they were really, really nice. And we didn't talk about any specific ideas. We just got to know each other, and they were lovely, and it was a really positive meeting. And so after that, a few months after that, they said, oh, we're going to send a production crew out to the farm, and they're going to film you cooking. Simple as that, no pressure, just cook some stuff. And said, okay, I'm going to make a hot dish, and I'm going to make my mother-in-law's cookie salad. So I did that. And they made what's called a sizzle, which is sort of like a trailer for a show that doesn't exist yet. And so they made this sizzle, and they showed it to Food Network, and Food Network said, okay, like let's make a pilot. So a few months later, the same production company came back, and we filmed the first episode of, at that point, the show didn't have a name. And it was really fun. It was great working with a crew. I loved having them all in our house, and got to, put on hair and makeup and get all done up for it. and that was really fun. And so after that week of filming ended, I just thought, well, that was fun. And if I hear from them again, like, great, that would be really cool to keep on doing that. And so a few months after that, they said, I got another phone call, and they said, oh, we'd like to film 6 episodes of this new show, and it's going to be called Girl Meets Farm. And growing up in the 90s, I immediately thought of Boy Meets World, one of my old favorite TV shows, and I was like, cool, great. And so they came back a few months later, and we filmed the 6 episodes. Is technically half of a season, so we did half of a season. Mm-hmm. And then I just fell in love with the process. I fell in love with the crew. I felt like performing in the kitchen and performing in front of a camera really brought me back to performing music and music school, and mm-hmm. and so from the get-go, there was a comfort in that. And then the few months after that were really difficult to wait, because that was when I was waiting to see if it would get picked up for a full season. And I remember being really happy when I got that phone call. And so that was back in 2017 or 2018, I think. And then mm-hmm. since then, we've been filming on a continuous basis. So we'll do between 2 and 3 seasons a year. And we're about to start filming again in a couple of weeks. We'll be doing our 13th season.
Wow.
And there's so much that goes on for you, Molly. I mean, you've been on the farm at East Grand Forks, Minnesota now for like 10 years. Is there anything that's still surprising to you as when you get to the farm? Are you still a harvest widow? Are things better? Do you get to drive equipment now? Does somebody let you in a tractor?
Oh, no one will let me in a tractor. No way. I'm good with that. I mean, I love making harvest lunch. I love making harvest baked goods every year for sugar beet harvest. I set up a little pop-up bakery in the shop, and I put baked goods out every single day for our truck drivers and for our harvest drivers, and that's so much fun. I definitely think that knowing what to expect now from harvest, it has me enjoy it a lot more. At first I was jarred. At first it was like very challenging, and then after Bernie was born and working, and then also being a parent, and then also never knowing when Nick was going to be coming in, like, yes, that's very challenging. But as the years go on, I have found so many things to really love about that season, and mm-hmm. I've also learned to find TV shows that he hates watching, so that I can have a TV show to watch during harvest. Like, that's my time to catch up on The Bachelor and all of the trashy shows on Netflix that are all about, going on blind dates or whatever. So
honestly, Molly,
it was an adjustment.
When you said you set up a pop-up bakery in the shop during harvest for all your drivers and operators, I heard a stampede to the phone for people applying for that job so that they can come out during beet harvest this year. So you're going to get a lot of new people who
Nick will
have an
be very
interest.
excited.
He will. And you mentioned Bernie, not only the name of your daughter, but your restaurant. How's that balance going now with all the things that you do and being a restaurateur on top of it?
It is like having another newborn. It's a lot. It's challenging. It's everything that people say about having a restaurant. It's really, really hard. But at the end of the day, it is so rewarding, and I get to work with an amazing crew of people at Bernie's. I love seeing them every day. I love seeing the customers. We celebrate local ingredients, local farms, local cuisine, and because it just comes from such a passionate place. I am so passionate about this region and about food of this region, about all of the amazing crops, and about all of the amazing recipes that many of them rooted in those church cookbooks. So it has, yes, it's been challenging. Yes, it's caused me to lose tons of sleep, but just like a newborn, I love it. And it is so gosh darn rewarding.
Yeah, I'm up in Grand Forks, and I've been over to your restaurant not too long ago, and it's just a beautiful place.
Thank
The
you.
food looks great. It smells good in there. I actually know a couple of people that are employed by you guys now, as well as your sous chef. He used to be my old sous chef back in the day up here. He's a great guy. But I've been trying to tell Dean and Bridgette, we got to head up so we can grab food up there.
We are
making a day out of it.
No, we're definitely making a road trip up when the weather warms up. No doubt about it.
I
Come
got
on
to
up.
eat there with Mr. and Mrs. Rob Sharkey, shark farmer, and his wife, and I can tell you right now, worth our time, you guys.
Good.
Thank you. So you experienced dinner, because we just started dinner only about a month or so ago, and I know that Rob and Emily went there for dinner. So
yeah,
it's a new
It was
thing.
pretty
When you
cool.
guys come try dinner, come experience dinner. But also we do have breakfast and lunch as well. So come on up for all 3 meals. Stick around for drinks. We still got the horseshoe bar. Bring home some baked goods for a frozen hot dish.
We'll make a day out of it. That sounds good.
That'd be great. Hey, Molly, we had a listener question here. They were wondering, how do you find a balance between your shows, your personal life, the business? Are there moments that get hectic, and how do you manage and balance all of that?
I am an obsessive planner. I have my phone glued to my hand with my iCal, and I'm really good at making lists. I'm also very good at delegating. We have an amazing, it takes a village, and we have an amazing one. So I can't take all the credit. I plan my planning. So every Friday I have a planning session with myself to meticulously plan the following week. And I just I live and die by to-do lists, and I just check things off throughout the week. And then if something doesn't get done, I'm good at being chill about it usually, or I just take it all out on Nick. So I have a very understanding husband. That's the other secret to that.
Now, Molly, what do you find is the most challenging of the things you do? Would it be running the restaurant? Would it be your series on the Food Network? What is the most challenging for you?
Hands down, it's the restaurant, and it's because this is the first time that I've ever done anything like this. I've worked in restaurants before, but I've never owned a restaurant, and I've never had to look at spreadsheets of labor costs and food costs and all of that. And luckily, Nick, with his farming background and his brain for numbers, he's really good at that stuff. So I'm really nervous about what's going to happen when spring planting starts. But everything is new with the restaurant. The opening brought so many great things, but also so many challenges. There are so many things to think about. But now, though, I will say, even after opening breakfast and lunch at Bernie's, and now we just opened dinner a month ago, opening dinner felt like a second restaurant opening, and it felt so much more in control. It went so much smoother than at least in my brain. I mean, again, we have such an amazing village there. Jake, our chef, is just incredible. Jenna, our general manager, and they shepherded us into this new era of Bernie's with dinner. So it is. I am getting more optimistic, and I am understanding it better. But gosh, it is a learning curve.
Right. Well, I'll tell you, you have a great and beautiful location where you're at over there in East Grand Forks, right next to the Greenway, the bridge, the parks. It's beautiful right over there.
Thank you. Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why we wanted to be in that space and why I wanted to open a space, was because when we heard that it was going to be available, we walked in and, everybody has a Whitey's story. Everybody has a Whitey's connection here. It was one of the first restaurants that I went to that summer that I moved here. My sister-in-law had her wedding party there, and it was just such a special place, and we wanted to honor that. So we kept the Horseshoe Bar. We have menu items that pay homage to Whitey's, and we just love having that history in the space.
Oh, that's
Well,
great.
and in your restaurant, Molly, you've also got, so like you said, local foods, because I saw things from Cows and Co. out in Carrington, right there, their gelato. You really have done an excellent job of highlighting all the regional foods, not just the fact that it's hot dish and cookie salad, but things that are from makers right here. And I think that's a big hats
Oh, yeah.
off to you as well.
Yeah, Cows and Co. is incredible. We have Doubting Thomas Farms grains. We have local pasta, Three Farm Daughters. We have amazing local potatoes. We're in talks with my sister-in-law just became the head of Farmer in the Dell in outside of Fargo, and so we're talking with her about getting some produce over the summer. And this is such a beautiful region with just like such rich farmland and such delicious produce, and we want to showcase it. And of course, local sugar, local wheat, but the things that Nick grows, it's so great.
You couldn't be a better lead-in. It could not be a better lead-in, Molly. Just as of yesterday, I booked Three Farmers' Daughters to be one of our guests to talk about their pasta. And your sister-in-law
good.
is
It's
going
so
to be on
delicious.
with us by the end of the month as well. So we've got lots of guests, and apparently we're just running
she's
through
the
the
best.
Hagen family. Just bring it. What are your in-laws up to? Maybe I should pick them next. So. It's gonna work out great.
I'm still farming.
Right. Well,
perfect.
Dean, you got one last thing in there you want to sneak in?
One last question, Molly. We've got an emailer. Well, actually, no, it wasn't an emailer. It was me. So growing up outside of Chicago, a Cubs fan or Sox fan?
Oh, no. Wait, where in Chicago are you from?
I'm not telling you.
Oh, gosh. Okay. So I'm from the north suburbs.
Right.
Somehow my dad was a Sox fan, so I inherited being a Sox fan. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Oh, no, I chose the wrong one.
Oh, no.
No. You don't want to be the same fan as
yeah.
It's okay. Totally okay.
No, that's okay. I actually grew up on the south side, but my dad was a Cubs fan. It was total opposite of you. But my dad was a Cubs fan, so we grew up liking the Cubs. So it's a good rivalry. Yeah, it's you know what? We go back a couple times a year. We should get a road trip. Me, you, Nick, Justin, Bridgette. We can make it. We can make a little series out of that. The farm goes to the city.
That's true.
Yeah.
The farm and the
Absolutely true.
loons
But
go
Dean-
to the city.
But I know we're not letting Dean drive. I've seen it. We're good. Okay, moving on.
Right. Molly, we got about 40 seconds left. Where can people go to get information or more information about your TV show, your cookbooks? Where's the restaurant located at again? All that good stuff.
Yeah. So I personally am active on Instagram. You can follow me. My Instagram name is Molly Yeh. For Bernie's, you can go to Instagram or Facebook, Bernie's EGF, or you can go to Bernie'sEastGrandForks.com. And that about covers it. I keep things minimal. Instagram, a little bit of Facebook, website. Website is mynameisye.com.
Well, that's great. Well, we want to thank you for taking time out of your day to join us here on WAG, and we'll see you in the near future up there at Bernie's when we get these guys up there.
Thank you so much. All right, see you at
All
Bernie's.
right, when we come back, definitely.
Thanks, Molly.
When we come back, we might have enough time to
you.
cover some things. I'm not quite sure, so we'll see what happens. If not, we all hope you guys have a great rest of your day.
It's wild. It's unpredictable. It's back. Shooting Star Casino presents Coors PRCA Championship Rodeo. Friday, March 24th and Saturday, March 25th, 7:30 each night in the Fargo Dome. Top professional contestants from across the nation going head-to-head with the award-winning stock of Mossbrook Rodeos in 7 head-slamming, bone-jamming events and dance each night at Cowboy Jack's. Get tickets at the Fargo Dome box office or Ticketmaster.com. Kids are half price. Coors PRCA Championship Rodeo. March 24th and 25th in the Fargo Dome, where 8 seconds is a lifetime. Sponsored by Holiday Inn Express and your local Ram dealer.
Life is short. Work somewhere wonderful. Join CCRI and make a difference every day in the lives of individuals with disabilities. Flexible schedules make it the perfect opportunity for students. The award-winning culture will make you feel appreciated and supported by everyone around you. No experience necessary. CCRI will provide all the training needed to be successful and comfortable in your new position. If you're looking for a career that leaves you with memories that will last a lifetime, join their team at CCRI. Visit ccrimorehead.org to apply today.
Foston Tri-Co-op is hiring an agronomy manager. Must have sales and agronomy experience, able to sell crop protection, fertilizer, and chemicals. College degree in agronomy or equal experience is preferred. Enjoy competitive salary and benefits including health, long-term disability, dental, life insurance, HAS, paid vacation, and retirement match and profit sharing. Email resume to jen.howard@fostoncoop.com or call 218-435-6919 and ask for Brent. Foston Tri-Co-op, hiring an agronomy manager, and it could be you.
Olivet Lutheran Church in Fargo invites you to join us for worship Sunday mornings at 8:30 and 10:30 and Wednesday evenings at 6. During this time of Lent, our theme is No Greater Love, where we will reflect on God's love for us through the death of Jesus on the cross. Our sanctuary is also open Wednesdays during lunch for individual reflection and prayer, where you can light a candle, leave a prayer at the cross, or simply be still. For more information and to watch all of our services online, go to olivet.org.
It's wild. It's unpredictable. It's back. Shooting Star Casino presents Coors PRCA Championship Rodeo. Friday, March 24th and Saturday, March 25th, 7:30 each night in the Fargo Dome. Top professional contestants from across the nation going head-to-head with the award-winning stock of Mossbrook Rodeos in 7 head-slamming, bone-jamming events and dance each night at Cowboy Jack's. Get tickets at the Fargo Dome box office or Ticketmaster.com. Kids are half price. Coors PRCA Championship Rodeo. March 24th and 25th in the Fargo Dome, where 8 seconds is a lifetime. Sponsored by Holiday Inn Express and your local Ram dealer.
Watching the markets relatively quiet here on Thursday. This is the American Ag Network of Jesse Allen with this market update. We're talking now with Arlen Suderman of StoneX. Arlen, as we look at this grain and oilseed trade, first off, feels relatively quiet. Another cord sale to China.